Good day, faculty members. My name is Arundeep Kakkar, and my thesis topic for MSc program is a better estimation of human mobility using statistics from mobile call detailed record data and land use information. Now about the introduction. Estimating human trajectory utilizing CDR information has many applications. Implementation may be done real time or later. It may help in predicting mobile users' location with lot less pain as compared to the present methodologies which are being used in the market. The present methodologies which are being used to estimate human trajectory use either the mobile network information or GPS data, which is very complex and in the hands of only a few agencies, and the usage is very sparse. And various complex methodologies are deployed to track the human trajectory using the mobile information. Now, the application of estimating human trajectory using CDR information of a mobile user could be a very handy tool for the local health bodies. For example, in today's COVID scenario, it could help monitor users' movement, for example, like COVID, as I mentioned, and other infectious diseases. It can help city planning, for example, essential services such as schools and hospitals, then managing road traffic and optimizing of the transportation network. It can help in emergency response, such as during natural calamities and disasters, for tracking the user's location. Then it can help the lawful agencies to control crime. Now, what's the problem statement? Now, using CDR information to estimate mobile subscriber position is full of errors. Now, as we see in the diagram, the dotted line shows the CDR estimation. The dotted line shows the actual travel journey, wherein the bold arrow lines show the CDR estimation. So there's a big gap between these two. Now, why is that? The reason is that CDR information captured with the service provider has information about the telecom tower and the cell to which the mobile subscriber is communicating with. It is not necessary that the telecom tower that the nearest telecom tower to the mobile user may be communicating with the mobile user. The reason why that is because there are signal handovers which happen between the telecom towers. And why do they happen? They happen because of either the cell tower is very loaded. So to balance the mobile traffic capacity between the towers, signals are handed over. There could be a lot of signal interference at a particular tower for which the signal gets handed over. Or it could be due to a poor signal strength which the mobile user is receiving. That's why it gets handed over to another cell tower. And that's the reason why estimating the user's location with respect to CDR data is very full of errors. And also a point to note that is the information captured with the in the CDR data, the data captured in the CDR data is only of the telecom tower and the sector. So it doesn't have the granular detail of where the actual subscriber is. Now, what are the aims and objectives of this particular research? To achieve better human mobility estimation from CDR information. But then how do we do it? We do it by doing something called as feature fusion, which is in this case is land use information. Now, this is a very novel approach and it hasn't been used ever. This is the first time we are doing this. Then the second aim and objective would be to compare the human mobility accuracy received using different classification predictive models under different sampling conditions. Then third would be to achieve improved techniques to estimate origin destination table. Now going on to the literature review. Now you can see 4 different columns. Now what I've done is I've segregated the literature review into 4 different categories based on like how I found the research papers to be distributed. The first one is trip segmentation. Now, I found research related to stay point detection techniques. Stay point is a point which is like when a user stays at a particular point for considerable amount of time. Then opposite that would be a moving point detection technique. Then people have researched about predicting traveling modes, for example, bus or cycle, or even predicting speed of a user from the mobile data. Then decoding the path segments, then trajectory mapping, then deciphering the origin destination matrices. These are all the research papers I found under trip segmentation. Then under a framework based on fused features, I found a framework to discover different functional regions in a city, for example, a hospital or a school. Then decomposing city flow patterns to individual basic human life features, for example, a restaurant or a shopping mall. Then related research publications, I found a lot of papers when GPS was a data source or a CDR was a data source. Even location-based social network was used as a data source, for example, Instagram or Facebook. And then reconstruction of a human trajectory, interpolation of missing information using Gaussian functions, then map matching techniques, then machine learning techniques, for example, random forest and SVM or AdaBoost or even neural networks, etc. Then literature review, the gaps, summary of gaps, what I found was that there were inaccurate accuracies achieved due to signal handing, signal which was handing over between different towers. This is especially related to the trajectory estimation when it was based on the CDR. Then there were a lot of errors and biases due to the acquisition of data from mobile phones. For example, a mobile phone may have 2 SIM cards, or for one particular user may have more than one mobile phones at the same time. Then physical surveys were taken. Now this is a very time consuming approach, we know that. Then there was no feature fusion, which I found. It was completely missing. Then limited search areas scenarios were studied, for example, from home to office and back. So these were the gaps which I found in the literature review. Then for the research methodology, now we've got 3 sets of data. This data was sourced with the help of University of Tokyo from the GIS department. Now the data is segregated into 3 different buckets. One is the GPS data set itself, which is for 2499 user IDs. Its data is recorded after every for 5 minutes. The data is updated after every 5 minutes. Then so the information out there is basically start time, end time, latitude, longitude, and the user ID. Then we've got CDR information, which is basically it is sampled into 3 different frequencies, 96 times a day, then 24 times a day, then 8 times a day for the urban scenario. Now the information captured out here is again user ID and the latitude and the longitude. Then we have the Tokyo map, which is the digital map. Now all these 3 were then processed, and then for the Tokyo map, the digital map was changed into TIFF format, and from the TIFF format, the land use information, which for example the rivers or the building area information, was taken out and compared with the latitude longitude of the grid map and taken out as an Excel sheet. This was later fused with the CDR information, which was nothing but the user IDs, then the date stamp and the time stamp, followed by the latitude and the longitude. And then this was further fused with the GPS information, which was the user ID, the start time, end time, and the latitude and the longitude. Now, the GPS information from the latitude, longitude stay points were extracted by using the clustering technique. We discussed earlier, like the stay point is a point when a user stays there at a particular location for more than 5 minutes. So that's considered as a stay point. So wherever the stay point was there, it was marked as yes. Where it's moving, it's marked as no. So this becomes a classifier then. Now, post the merger, the data is split between 70-30, training set and test data set. EDA is done, then class balancing is done. Out here, the ratio of class balancing was 97.5 to 2.5. So SMOT was used, SMOT and Addison both were used to balance it. And then further, logistic regression, decision tree and deep learning, 3 models were used for each of the sample classes, that is urban 96, 24 and 8. And further accuracies were compared using confusion matrix, TPR and TNR, to finally come with which is the best model. Then for the EDA, the dates were transformed to ordinal values, and the time was transformed to nanoseconds. Then latitude and longitude was transformed to Haversine distance variable. Then 2499, which were the user IDs, were transformed to ordinal encoded variables. Then land use 16, the 16 land use categories were encoded using hot encoded variables. Then date, time and Haversine distance was scaled using standard scaler. Then, as I mentioned, class balancing technique was used, SMOT and Addison, because data was highly imbalanced. 97.5 as the yes majority class and 2.5 minority class, which was no. Then 70-30% data was divided between train and test, and then 3 models, as I mentioned, logistic regression, decision tree and deep learning were used. Now the results, I already mentioned the metrics, confusion matrix, TPR and TNR. Now for logistic regression, we see that the TPR increased significantly post land use merger. TNR declined post land use merger, and the similar pattern was seen for 96, 24 and 8 sampling methods. Decision tree, TPR increased post land use merger. TNR remained steady, steadily high, both in pre and post land use merger. For deep learning, TPR remained steadily high pre and post land use merge. Then TNR increased for urban 96 and urban 8, but for urban 24 it declined post the land use merge. Now this is again shown in different ways. So if I look at urban 96, decision tree maintains high TNR with slight increase in TPR. Deep learning maintains high TPR with slight increase in TNR. Logistic regression, TPR increases but TNR decreases. This is for urban 96. For urban 24, decision tree maintains high TNR with slight increase in TPR. Deep learning maintains high TPR with slight decrease in TNR. Logistic regression, TPR increases but TNR decreases. For urban 8, decision tree maintains high TNR with slight increase in TPR. Deep learning maintains high TPR with slight increase in TNR. And logistic regression, TPR increases but TNR decreases. Now conclusion. Feature fusion of CDR with land use does improve the accuracy of estimating human trajectory when compared to results compared with dataset having no land use information. This is a novel approach used, and no study has ever incorporated such concept before. Deep learning and decision tree models gave better classification results when compared with logistic regression. Deep learning stands out with some incremental change in TNR while maintaining high TPR. Decision tree stands out with incremental change in TPR while maintaining high TNR. Since stay point accuracy is directly correlated with OD accuracy, it may be inferred that feature fusion is leading to better OD prediction accuracy, and this study may be further extended to include them as well. Future recommendation: better accuracy may be achieved by using optimization techniques such as deep learning model by optimizing number of layers, number of neurons, learning rate, batch size, number of epochs to arrive at high TNR coupled with high TPR accuracy. For decision tree, maximum depth, leaf samples, grid, CV fold may be optimized to arrive at high TPR coupled with high TNR accuracy. Instead of using land use category as a variable for feature fusion, the digital map may be directly superimposed with the CDR before being compared with the ground truth. Such approach would involve using of PyTorch libraries.